Hey guys, this is Hell Hades. This is going to be another Raid Shadow Legends video. So we're doing an account takeover of Trouble. Trouble is basically looking for help on his missions. So he's got a fair way to go at the moment, but he ultimately is looking for support to try and complete level 20 of the Spider. It's the only one he hasn't done. He's done 19, so actually he's probably done the harder of the two levels, which is interesting. So we're going to get in and see what champions he's got in a minute. He's also looking to transition from a Nightmare Clanboss team into an Ultra Nightmare. He's got a steady 2 key on Nightmare, so I think that's going to be possible. He's ideally looking for a 3 or 4 key Ultra Nightmare team. That's the main things we're going to look at today. Let's just have a bit of a flick through the account. So you saw just there on the missions, he's after a level 7 Great Hall kind of upgrade. After that, it just needs to start chunking out some more defense, some more crit damage, and just enable him to progress with this Great Hall. HP to do with being level 3s here. We could do level 3s across the board here with any sort of affinities that he's using. But the rest of it is looking like it's on the right path. So that's cool. We're in our double summons. Looks like he's pulled all his shots already. Fair enough. And we're coming up to day 84. So it's actually been playing a relatively short amount of time for the development of this account. 2.5 million player power. So that's actually pretty nuts. That's pretty insane to get to that level already. Fair play. Obviously invested some of his own hard-earned cash into that. Let's then have a look at these champions. So what have we got to play with today? And we can see how the player power has grown so much. He's got a lot of epics, a lot of legendaries in this account. So who stands out to me then for Clanboss? I mean, we've got Valkyrie, #1 Clanboss champion in the game, I would say. We've got Ultan, best decreased attack champion in the game. We've got Razin, massive hitter, weaken and decreased defense. So we've got decreased attack, shields, decreased defense, weaken. That's in 3 champions. Then you'd need some sort of poison. So poison. Who have we got? Frozen Banshee, I guess. There is a Cult Brawler there. We've got Frozen Banshee. I think Frozen Banshee is the option here. The Frozen Banshee goes in as #4. And then it's just either more damage or it's damage mitigation. So we could throw a Rotus in there for pure damage, or we could throw somebody like a Sandlashed down here for some damage mitigation. Or we could throw somebody like a Sepulchre in for damage mitigation. So good options on this account. Yeah, really cool, really cool. So let's have a look and see how we did so far. So we'll start off with the accounts, the counter attacker. So we've got a speed 178. It's kind of neither Nightmare nor Ultra Nightmare. So you either go 171 if you want to be Nightmare. Ideally, you go 191 if you want to be Ultra Nightmare. At the moment, he's kind of in middle ground. For a Valk, you want to be stacking way more defense than this, probably more like 5 to 6k defense. Her shield just scales with defense all the way, so you need more defense than that. And then people like a Razin. So Razin should be high defense, that's too low. Speed's about right. Accuracy's a bit low. I guess it's okay for Nightmare. If you look at Ultra Nightmare, it's not high enough. It's not too bad. Let's look at Ultan. Too slow, good defense, probably a little bit high even, good defense, low accuracy. He's not ready for Clanboss at all. This is not a build that's ready for Clanboss. Too slow, that's the main thing, but this accuracy is not going to land your debuffs. If you don't land decreased attack, you will fail. Simple as that. So he needs a bit of work. So we've got 1, 2, 3. Who else did we talk about? Frozen Banshee. Let's see what she's set up as. Too slow again. The rest of it's not too bad. This is a little bit low. 3k is a bit low on defense, but it's not horrendous. And then we've got Sandlash was an option. Good build here. That's nice. Sandlash looks good already. Sepulchre is not built properly, so she can't really count. Looks like she's built or was built to do damage, which is interesting. Okay, cool. So we've got plenty to work with here. I'm going to get in and do some re-gearing. Before I do that, what I do is I go in and do a proper gear cleanse. I always start at the top, so I'm going to start at the bottom this time because this is quite often where we find some good bits of neglect, shall we say. Oh, I've just lost it. Bits of neglect. So often with sets that come through from PvP or sets that people buy. Now this is where I see it a lot. If people buy a set, let's say, I'm not saying he has here, but you could buy this set, for example. Often I see with these PvP sets, here's a good example. Flat stat items that you're never going to keep. For some reason, people don't sell them on if they've either paid for it with their hard-earned cash or if they got it through the arena. It's the same difference, guys. If this piece of item, if this item is terrible, sell it on. Cleanse your gear. Flat stat at the top here, it needs to go. Attack percentage on gloves probably needs to go. Accuracy you could probably keep. You could keep. That's okay. That's okay. Another one here. I mean, yeah, you just wouldn't keep it, guys. It's just not worth keeping. Unless you are literally rolling in money and you want to just roll stuff up for the chance of getting a legendary roll. That's what you're doing. So on those gloves, could they be usable? I mean, I guess if you've got a quad roll speed or a quad roll crit rate, let's do it. Let's just roll it up a little bit. So let's cancel that a second. So if I rolled it up to level 4 to start with, as the test, yeah? So this is what you'd be doing. So if you've got a lot of silver, if you're Stu Gaming and you've got tons of silver, it's landed there, it's 100% sell. If it landed crit rate, you would roll again to level 8. If it lands crit rate again, you roll again to 12. If it lands crit rate again, you roll again to 16. If it doesn't land crit rate on that 4th time and you just spent 3 million silver, you're selling it. Simple as that. So it has to be god rolls to keep, and you just wouldn't keep it. So I go through, I cleanse out these flat stats, which are just going to be kind of a grind on the old silver. Mainly I look at these bottom 3 items: gloves, chests and boots. Flat stat again, see you later. Flat stat again, I'll come back to that one. Another flat stat. See, there it goes. So sell those off. Why didn't I sell this one off straight away? Purely because it's speed set. So the only time I could recommend you not selling flat stats straight away is if it's in a speed set and you've got a speed roll. And in this case, you do roll it up to 4. If you land speed on a speed set, it could be really good for an arena champion. That's the only time I personally, so we've rolled it once, that's the only time I personally would keep an item that's a flat stat like this. But I need it to roll at least 2 times into speed. If it rolls 2 times into speed, we potentially keep it. But you need to bear in mind, even if you keep it, so it didn't, so it's going to be sold. Even if you keep it, that champion is going to be underpowered in other areas, but it'll be fast. So you would usually use that on somebody that's going to be either a speed booster for you or someone that you want to absolutely nuke. No, not nuke, actually. Nuke's not the right word because the item's underpowered. So you probably would only put it on like your speed merchant that's going to try and speed up the rest of your team. Anyway, I'm going to go through, cleanse out all of this gear, do the same sort of thing. I'll show you quickly actually on artifacts. So what do I do on artifacts? I look for, firstly, have we got a good selection of main stats? So attack, HP and defense. Then what I'm looking for are good synergies of items. So if we've got a defense piece, this is a good example. A defense flat stat here, but the 2 things under it just are not very good. So you either want defense percentage or HP percentage to make this better. So unless I don't have any more defense rolls in flat stats for the main roll, this is being sold because it's not good enough. I've got one here, I've got a roll, that's gone. Yeah, because it's not going to be strong enough, so you may as well get rid of it. I've seen that we've already got a number of attack pieces here. Attack's the weakest of the main stats for rings, so I'd only keep a couple. So sell a few of those off. For amulets, what am I looking for? Again, a good selection of HP, defense, crit damage amulets. If I've got tons of HP ones like this, I might sell a couple off. This account doesn't have loads of jewelry items, so I'm not going to sell loads of it off. This is a great piece though, so let's sell those few pieces off. Where did I just find it? Yeah, so defense as your main stat for an amulet. All of the main stats are going to be flat, by the way, so it's going to be a flat defense. If you can roll that and then get an accuracy roll here as well, this potentially becomes a great piece for your champions. So defense main stat, you know you need accuracy on a lot of your champions. Brilliant, I've landed it once. If I land it twice, even better, it's going to be godlike. That's what I'm looking for. So I'm looking for a good selection of items, and I'm looking to see, that's perfect, looking to see if we can roll some nice rolls on a couple of pieces like this. So talking about Sepulchre, she's already got a nice one on anyway, but it's HP. I would, if I was putting her in the Clanboss team, switch this one in. Okay. On banners, again, let's find a selection of banners where we've got a decent amount. Okay, so we're looking for a good selection of the main stat again. So it looks like we've got a reasonable selection here. I mean, if I was looking for somebody in particular, ideally you want to get an accuracy one if they need to land debuffs. There's not many accuracy banners in this set at all. Your perfect scenario is accuracy banner with speed if they need to land debuffs. If they don't need debuffs like a Valkyrie, then you want a defense lead with speed again. That's what you're after. So, like this. But yeah, I'm not going to sell too many jewelry items, so we don't have a lot here, and he will need them in his account. So that's all good. And then the last thing I do is just check to see what we've got in terms of glyphs. So do I have a bit of flexibility to play around with gear? And the answer here is no. Where do I get flexibility from? Speed glyphs. When we're speed tuning for Clanboss, we need as many glyphs as possible. Speed glyphs really help us tweak numbers, yeah? So if I get perfect gear, but I'm too speed short, I throw on a couple of glyphs, and all of a sudden I can keep that perfect gear on, but I don't have to sort of switch out boots and stuff. It's so important to farm your glyphs every day. Don't waste your speed glyphs. Keep hold of them for when you're doing a big project like this, and it will make it 10 times easier. This is going to make my job loads harder. I don't have any glyphs. I've got 2 glyphs. It's not enough, so it makes my job right now really tough. Anyway, we'll get into doing that cleanse, and then we'll re-gear these champions, and I'll show you the final results. Okay, guys, it's time to share what we've done so far. So we've taken our Valkyrie as our main counter-attacker. She is going to be good for Ultra Nightmare Clanboss. 192 speed. 1 speed more than I wanted, but that's pretty cool. 5.9k defense. It is up there in terms of where I want it to be. I'd love it to push even higher. 6.5k, something like that. But we've got the best gear on her that I can get. We've got defense boots, defense chest, defense gloves, defense. Everything's defense, yeah? The next kind of build for this would be 60% here, 60% here, maximum ring, maximum amulet, maximum banner. Yeah, so that's the kind of next step progression, but we've got ourselves up to a really solid place, so she's good to go. What I've got as well, because Trouble is still going to be doing Nightmare, I've built Skull Crusher out to be a 171 speed counter attacker. He's going to sub in for Valkyrie, or they're actually both going to go in on Nightmare. So he's going to be the slower counter-attacker. Valk will just be the shielder, basically, for Nightmare. So that will work nicely. 171, nearly 4k defense. Everything else is rosy. He's good to go as well. We've then got, for the main lineup, Ultan. Ultan, lifesteal gear, 3.9k defense, 176 speed, perfect. He's going crit. He's going to smash people. 100% crit damage. 205 accuracy is a tiny bit low, but not too bad. We've then got ourselves a Razin. Razin I've taken out of the lifesteal gear. I just want to pump him up to the right sort of level. 3.9k defense, 39k HP, 226 accuracy. He's relying on the Valkyrie shields to keep him alive. Everything else is about him doing his damage. So that's 1, 2, 3. We got Sepulchre. So Sepulchre's coming in as our secondary decrease attack champion and our lead. She's going to be in there taking some smashes. She has got 4.3k defense, which is perfect. Good accuracy. She's going to land that decrease attack as well, so that we're not worried about Ultan potentially missing. which enables us to put more damage into Ultan. And then we've got our Poisoner. It's going to be Frozen Banshee herself. In comes the rare, leading the way. Her defense is low. Her defense is not as much as I'd like it to be. We have got defense gloves, defense chest. We could only get speed boots on her. We do have defense in the jewelry items, and accuracy in the banner. So it's not because she doesn't have the right items. She's just struggling to get that level up. I'd really love for these to be defense boots. I can't get that to happen with the gear that we've got here. Other than that, this is a really solid setup. So we are going to jump straight into Clanboss, into Ultra Nightmare, and we're going to see what we can do. So we're not having this one in for this fight. We're going to go, Sepulchre Sentinel, then Ultan, then Frozen Banshee. The reason I'm doing that is because the 2 decreased attack champions are the ones I want to go first when we counterattack. They are the most important debuffs to get on the Clanboss. We don't want to overrun it with poison. And then, here we go. Good to go. We've got defense lead aura, so give us more shielding for the Valkyrie. We've got defense, increased defense coming from Ultan and from Sepulchre. Actually, I just need to check masteries quickly. I didn't check everyone's masteries. Lucky I checked it. So we can't have this mastery on if we're doing speed tuning. It's got to come off. We've got to reset. Still going to go accuracy tree because I need to extend the debuffs, but I avoid both of these debuffs. Otherwise, you will start making yourself go faster and you will run out of sync with your speed tune. Can't do it. So we're going to do this, and then we're going to try and extend the debuffs, and that's fine. Over this side, we want him to hit harder, which means we come down this tree. I'm going to take Methodical so he hits more with his A1, and then cut across into Giant Slayer, which is what you want on your Razin. Bit of healing here, that's all good. Razin's better. Let's check the others out as well. Ultan, that's okay. So, I mean, I wouldn't go Giant Slayer for Valkyrie. I'm not going to spend 150 gems to change it, but Giant Slayer is not optimal for Valkyrie. You'd rather go War Master. So that's those 3. Let's check the others. Sepulchre, we've got issues here. Again, we've got the same problem. We don't want this on. This isn't much use to her either. So we're going to reset that. Still going to grab the accuracy pieces. I'm going to take this for other content in the game, and then come into chances to extend to improve that. And then we're going to go straight into War Master for Sepulchre. What else do I want? Probably this and this. Maybe this for other areas of the game, I'd say. Not for, it doesn't help Clanboss, but it's good elsewhere. That's okay. Same problem here. Taylor's not in the fight though, so that's okay. Who else? Banshee. Yeah, that's good. Okay, cool. So let's go again. Now we've got mastery set up right. We can do this fight and let's see how we get on. So we want to get decreased defense and weaken on as early as we can. We want to get a counter attack up before the boss has his turn. And then we start to get our hits in. So we should get a decreased attack straight on. There it is. We're going to get our increased defense on now through Ultan. We're going to get poison sensitivity up as early as we can, which is on. We're going to save this for the next turn, where she's going to block debuffs. Next slam comes in, we get all our counter attacks off. Start to get our poisons laying in. Beautiful. A1 goes in. Poisons laying again. Nice. Get our block debuffs up and increase defense, which means the Valkyrie shield is going to be big when she does her next cast. Block the slam, and then we are away. So we can now just go in A1, A1, and at this point, excuse me, we are good to press auto. This is now going to run nice and smooth. So I'm going to auto it away, and we'll see what we get. Okay, we're coming at 16.36, not quite where we want to be. It's full auto though, so it's not terrible either. 3.5, 3.2, 5.7 on the Frozen Banshees, not as much as I'd like. So we're a bit short on poison damage. So what I'm going to do is just build up Steel Skull, who I've seen in here as well. Well, I could use Sandlashed. I think I'm going to try Steel Skull first. I think Steel Skull might just push a bit more damage our way. He's nearly built anyway, so let's get him in the mix. And yeah, I'll show you how we get on once he's built up. Okay, so we've got a Steel Skull. He's way too low on accuracy. I can't get his accuracy up because we do not have banners because we need to fix the spider problem. So it's all a bit of a convoluted way of trying to do this, but let's see how this goes. He's mainly in there actually for a bit of top-up poison damage, but pretty much he's in there to be able to give us that extra healing that we want. So we're going to throw Ultan in as the lead this time. Steel Skull comes in second spot, and let's see how this runs. I think this may do more damage. It's going to be pretty similar. So I didn't want to alter there. Same sort of setup really. We get the shields out. We want to make sure that Steel Skull does his increased defense right before the slam. That's what his move's going to be. So we're going to go just A1s here to start with. We are laying a couple of poisons. Big shields, big increased defense there from our Razin. I've got a resist on that poison sensitivity. That's massive. That's one of the reasons why the damage was not high enough. Even though she's got good accuracy, it's not landing enough. And if she doesn't land poison sensitivity, she's not doing damage. That could be a big reason. It might be then, because of that we need to bring a Cult Brawler in for this account because we just don't have the accuracy built up in places like the Great Hall to make it work. So I'm going to play this through. We'll see how we get on. We should now have big shields on for our auto setup. If you're manualing, you can bring the cleanse. Bringing the cleanse means you're going to 100% fix the stun, which is where Steel Skull comes in, but he only really does it well on manual. Here comes the big shields. See these massive shields, and away we go. Now let this run, and I'll show you the results of this one. Okay, so damage has decreased. It's not what we wanted to see. We're not getting anywhere near enough poisons running on this team. The accuracy is really proving a problem for us. So Frozen Banshee, as good as she is, her accuracy is still too low. I think I'm going to have to go with single poisoner, a Cult Brawler, mainly because he does have an accuracy banner and he's going to be able to bring the poison I need. His defense is going to be low, but he's going to stack more damage up for me. And then I can use somebody else for utility to keep the team alive. So let's see how we do. I'm going to change it up once more and then I'll show you the results. All right, so take 3, third poisoner in the mix. A Cult Brawler's coming back, back from the dead. I know that in all of my tests so far, he's been the weaker out of the poisoners between him and Frozen Banshee. The thing is, I think his ability to land the poison and not be reliant on poison sensitivity might win the day here. So we're going to go back like this. I think this is probably our best setup for the team. And let's hope that he can maintain those poisons for long enough into the game. So I'm going to run it through. I'll show you the results one last time. And let's see if we can beat that 16.5 mil. Well, we're coming towards the end, 9 minutes in. It feels like this is a much better run. It feels like we are on for good damage. We're 9 minutes in, which is long for Ultra Nightmare. It's going to be decent hits. I'm hoping we're going to be like 18 million plus. Let's see, we've done 22. That's more like it. That's what I was looking for. Cult Brawler's coming big. So in this team, this is where you've got to play it to your team, guys. This team, a Cult Brawler is the poisoner to go for. Backed up by a lot of support. Backed up by 2 decrease attack champions because accuracy is a problem in this setup. So as long as you don't have the accuracy, as long as you don't have the accuracy in play, you have to play to your own strengths. If the Great Hall was in a better shape, then we'd be still going with Frozen Banshee and we'd be kicking out more damage than we are right now. There's still a lot of resisting going on. I can't push it any higher than that until the Great Hall is in better shape. So job well done. I think what we've done there, we've basically done half again, so about 50% growth of damage for Ultra Nightmare. I'm going to run the same team using that Skull Crusher build in Nightmare now, and I'll show you and just let you see what that does. So I just want to prove that we can still run both. We're on a negative affinity, which doesn't really help us. But what we're going to do here is this. come in with the second counter-attacker. So we've still got our debuffer, we've still got our decreased attack at the lead. We've got double counter-attack now. We've still got all of the debuffs we need. Running on Nightmare. Full auto, that's all we're going to need to do. And we're going to get our counter-attack up early. But we're still going to have the speed-tuned Skull Crusher bringing us the right counter-attack speed along the way. Which means we're always going to get the 2 counter-attacks in each turn. So this is cool. We're going to let this run through. I'll show you the results afterwards. But we should still be absolutely fine to 2 key Nightmare, just doing 1 substitution. And that's what's nice about having 2 counter-attackers in your lineup. There you see, so I've absolutely tuned this team now for Ultra Nightmare. We've still come in full auto for a 2 key Nightmare run. That's the benefit of having a second counter-attacker ready to go at the right speed. Even if I didn't put Skull Crusher in there, we could still run it. You'd be probably pulling your damage down a little bit more, so you'd be on the fringe of 2 key, but we've now got a 2 key Nightmare team, absolutely comfortable, and we've got an Ultra Nightmare team now that can hit the top chest comfortably as well. So that's pretty cool. The other thing that I want to try and do is get rid of this Spider 20 problem. It's quite a common request nowadays. It feels like this is the thing that people need. Instantly, I look at this team and I'm like, it's doomed to fail. It's doomed to fail because it's 100% offensive. There's no protection for any of this team at all. There's not a single chance that this is going to work. Now, the only way this could work is if you were able to program the AI to do all of their stuff in the right order. Even then, I don't think this account's got the damage to do it. So it's just doomed to fail. One change, yeah? Take 1 Cold Heart out, put Valk in, and this team's now got a chance. Take 1 more champ out, put in another defensive champ. This team's now got a great chance. And that's basically what we're talking about here is how do you make spider comps work? You need to give the champions that are going to do your damage protection. And the way you do that is you bring in defensive champions with good utility. And, ideally, we also bring a speed champion. So you might even take out 1 more and bring in someone for speed. So I'm going to work it out, make sure that we've got these champions built properly. I think I've destroyed the builds to rebuild other people. So I'm going to have to rework some of that stuff. And then we'll get on to Spider. Okay, so my first attempt then. What I'm going to do, I've actually brought Sathalia in here. She's really good for spiders. She can cleanse, she can do HP burn, she can block debuffs. Actually, I just want to check if her HP burn's single target. Why can't I click on her? What's going on? Something's changed about this menu screen. I can't seem to click on people anymore. That's single target. Single target. Removes debuffs, that's a cleanse. Removes all buffs from all enemies. Yeah, okay. So she's good. She gets rid of the poisons on people and then she'll clear them off. So I'm going to see if this will run. It might not. I didn't build Sandlashed. Okay, so we're going to try this for spiders then. It's a little bit of a different type of setup, but it's relying on Razin actually hitting some of his moves, which is, could happen, could not. So it's not 100%. But we do have shields here, we do have cleanses, we do have decreased attack and block debuffs. So we've got a lot of utility in this setup. It's reliant on Razin doing his work and then Cold Heart landing things like her Heartseeker. So we've got the decreased defense and weaken on, that's great. Big shields are on and counterattacks up. And now we are just flowing through, working that counterattack, using the champs that we've got at our disposal. So again, you don't need to always bring in specific champions. Sometimes you can just use what you've got in your roster and make it work. Not easy. I was chatting to some of these guys here. Channel 3, hey guys. I was giving it a little bit earlier on. What was I saying? Basically, I didn't believe that it was Hell Hades. So guys, Erad, Madmare, Booby, Cookie, all you guys, I'm in the house. I wasn't lying. Anyway. It was a good bit of banter anyway. But yeah, so we are working our way through the damage. You can see, obviously, we've hit our Heartseeker while I was in that chat thing there. So we're coming up to about half health. Razin's a target, that's fine. nice cleanse there from Sethalia. That's what she's in there for. She cleanses and throws block debuffs up, so it gives people a chance to recoup. So yeah, we're all good at the minute. See the way here, we've got shields on, we've got counter attacks on. So it's not going to be the fastest team in the world. That's the thing. Counter attacks slow your runs down, but they just give you that bit more consistency. We're then going counter attack all on the boss. Hopefully we get a couple of War Master hits in. There's one. There's two. There's three. 3 out of 5. That's really good. So it just gives us a nice few 100,000 damage. This is a really good setup if you do not have the HP burn champion that you want. But all in all, we're looking pretty solid here. It's going to be pretty slow. What I'll do, I'll fast forward it on to the end. I'll let you know if we do it or not. It might take probably 4 or 5 minutes, I guess. So we'll fast forward it on. Let's see how we get on. So I did say it's going to be quite a long one. On to 5 minutes. We've lost Sepulchre. That's fine. I think one more Heartseeker, we're pretty much there. It's actually been a very clean run. Even losing Sepulchre, it's only just happened like 4.5 minutes into the fight. A lot of the reason why this fight is long is because of the counterattack, but the counterattack is also given us a lot of utility. It's enabling me to heal back up, and the big shield obviously from Valk is massive. If you haven't got a miscreated monster, Valk is your next best thing for the big shield. And because I've already got it built up, I didn't want to invest loads more silver into another champion. I could put the miscreated monster into this lineup and he would do just as well. I just wanted to show it in a different way. You probably would speed the run up considerably if you did that. But yeah, we're looking good here. So I think the next move, I think, from Cold Heart is the Heartseeker. If that comes off, it's game over. Good night, Spider. Spider 20 in the bin. First time, literally first effort as well today. I've not had to do a couple of reruns, which is quite cool. Are we on? Come on, Cold Heart. Don't let me down. Don't let me down. You're embarrassing me now. I thought it was going to be quicker than this. This is what I mean about all these counterattacks. It's actually pretty good for the fight, but it's just slow. It slows down the run. But hey, you do what you got to do, right? Heartseeker, 1.2 million. Sit down, Spider. 6.29 minutes. 6 minutes 29. That's not too bad. Spider, 20 done. So what we've done then, we have taken a Clanboss team from struggling to do Ultra Nightmare, basically, unable to do a 4-key. We pushed it up to very comfortable 4-key. We've made sure the Nightmare team can still hit its 2-key. And we've got Spider 20 now on farm, pretty comfortable. Hell Hades does it again. Signing out, guys. Hope you've enjoyed the video.